Hey everyone, welcome to this amazing channel. Today, we will talk about the full open source LLM or large language model. An open source LLM doesn't mean only the LLM weights are open source, but actually the whole pipeline. Think of it like this: we have the weights of open source LLM like Llama and Mistral, but we don't know how they pre-train these models, right? We do not know the strategies and pipeline of building these base LLM models. But now, Apple is the company that has released a fully open data pipeline, training pipeline, and open model. Imagine, of all the big companies like Meta and Google. But Apple is the one that has open sourced everything. This new model is called OpenALM, in which Apple has released a paper. Apple has released their training recipe, scripts to do pre-training, instruct models, and guidelines about how you can use it within machine learning frameworks for inference. This development is significant because it opens up new possibilities for researchers and developers to understand and improve upon the underlying mechanisms of LLM. By providing the entire pipeline, Apple is fostering a more transparent and collaborative approach to AI development. The first thing they're doing is comparing this with all the available models, OpenALM and all the other public LLM. For instance, Pythia from Facebook was quite popular because of the open release and a very small model. It was almost praised by everybody for releasing the entire pipeline, much like Apple has done here. The public dataset is available, the code is available, and the weights are available. If you don't know what weights are, they're essentially what we call the model. The model size is 1.1 billion parameters with 1.5 trillion training tokens, and the average accuracy is 45.93%. This is definitely not the best state-of-the-art model, but they've released a bunch of smaller models that make a lot of sense. Recently, someone asked me why we don't have an AI-powered Android or iPhone. The brief answer is that it's computationally expensive to run at that inference speed. However, I think that is what Apple is doing with the latest iOS and all the applications. These kinds of smaller models could actually fit into that particular space. Apple's commitment to transparency and open access with OpenALM is a game changer. It sets a new standard for how big tech companies can contribute to the AI community, making advanced tools and resources available to a wider audience. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the web GPU space. It's a sort of GPU that you can access within your web browser, and these kinds of models could also make a huge difference with on NX runtime and other technologies. It's definitely an interesting development. You shouldn't just look at the accuracy to make a decision or judgment on the model. It's definitely useful for the world and the society we live in. All the things they have released are available on Hugging Face. You can go there and see the collections. They've got OpenALM instruct models and OpenALM pre-train models. If you want the base model, they've got a 270 million parameter model, a 450 million parameter model, and it's quite rare to see these kinds of sizes these days. The reason I'm not going to show you how to run this model in this video is that it might require a separate video. The main reason I wanted to make this video is to showcase everything they've released and the lessons or insights we can learn from it. The most important thing is that the reproducibility and transparency of large language models are crucial. That's why they're releasing OpenALM. OpenALM uses something called a layer-wise scaling strategy to efficiently allocate parameters within each layer of the transformer models. By doing this, Apple is setting a new standard in the industry, promoting a more open and collaborative approach to AI development. This transparency allows for better understanding, replication, and improvement of these models, benefiting researchers, developers, and ultimately, society as a whole. If you're not familiar with classical machine learning, it's important to know that what we call a model is nothing but deep neural networks, DNN. These are neural networks with multiple layers stacked together. There's an input layer and usually a softmax layer at the end that goes through the embeddings and picks up the words. Inside, there are many layers stacked together. What Apple is saying is that they've used a layer-wise scaling strategy to efficiently allocate parameters within each layer of the transformer model, leading to enhanced accuracy. For example, with a parameter budget of approximately 1 billion parameters, OpenALM exhibits a 2.3% improvement in accuracy compared to OLMo, while requiring half as many tokens. So, when compared to OLMo, OpenALM achieves a 2% increase in accuracy with only half the number of tokens. Now, a 2% increase in accuracy might not seem very significant at first glance. However, the main point is that you need half of the pre-training tokens, which means you require less data, less compute, and less time to build the model. This improvement streamlines the entire development cycle. By reducing the number of tokens required for pre-training, OpenALM not only lowers the computational cost but also accelerates the development process. Our release includes a complete framework for the training and evaluation of language models on publicly available datasets. Another clever aspect of their approach is that they haven't built their own dataset. Instead, they've used all publicly available datasets to achieve their results, which is quite impressive. This strategy is promising because it follows the culture set by OpenAI. Sadly, these days, if you look at LLM research papers, they mostly talk about benchmarks without giving detailed information about the datasets used. They often just mention that they used web data without specifying the data composition. Some companies might say they used a certain amount of code data, a certain amount of English language data, and other languages, but that's usually the extent of the information provided. It's very important for us to understand what kind of datasets are used. In the past, we would even see the specific datasets on which the models were trained and then recommend those models for particular domains. For example, a model trained on a lot of news datasets could be recommended for applications requiring news data, or a model trained on ticket information could be useful for customer support. However, we no longer have that level of insight or facility to do this. Thanks to Apple in this particular model, we have detailed information about the datasets used. Although Apple didn't build the datasets themselves, they used open datasets and provided all the information about them. Additionally, we release code to convert models to the MLX library for inference and tuning on Apple devices. The only catch here is that it's not a completely open license. Apple released it under a somewhat peculiar Apple Sample Code license. This license does not restrict you much. It allows you to use, reproduce, modify, and redistribute the software with or without modification. However, you must retain the original license notice and disclaimers in all redistributions of the Apple software. So that's all it says. Again, I appreciate them for doing this. Even if you're not going to use their model, you can still use their training recipe and all those things. Very surprisingly, Apple also used its own CoreNet framework. From the main repo, if you go to CoreNet, inside CoreNet, you will see something called projects, and inside projects, you will see something called OpenALM. And if you go inside OpenALM, you can see a couple of instructions, pre-training instructions, evaluation instructions, tuning instructions, and parameter efficient fine-tuning, PEFT. PEFT is what we mostly do whenever we say fine-tuning. We don't do the original full fine-tuning, we mostly do PEFT and MLX conversion and use Hugging Face. You can click on pre-training, and that will give you the YAML file with all the information. It includes data shuffling, sources of the data, and more details. Regarding the dataset information, they specifically used the Refined Web, a subset of Red Pajama from Together, and a subset of Dolma. Refined Web is something you can easily find on Hugging Face. You can find the main Refined Web and also a version from Falcon, another interesting LLM from Abu Dhabi that came out quite a while back. They've used all these datasets and shared the architecture of OpenALM. I'm not going into the architecture itself, but you can see the training details in the composition of the dataset, which is very important. Refined Web contains 665 billion tokens. Red Pajama includes data like GitHub, code, books, Wikipedia, Stack Exchange, and others. Pile is another dataset that recently came under some controversy because some YouTubers claimed it included YouTube transcriptions. Dolma includes the Stack, which has coding data, Project Gutenberg, Wikipedia, and Wikibooks. You can also see the accuracy and other information they shared. I'm definitely going to make separate videos on how we can leverage this model in different forms with Google Colab. The main idea of this video is to educate, more like a paper review. The way they have done instruction tuning is also interesting. They have used Ultra Feedback, another dataset known for good results on multi-turn conversations, for instruction tuning using the Alignment Handbook library from Hugging Face. There is more information in the paper, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I don't want to bore you with further details. I'll link all the required information, the models, scripts, repo, and paper, in the YouTube description for you to check out. If you are looking for a website where you can get all the latest news plus the latest AI tools, you can explore our website called simplifyai.in. Here, you can find things like AI-related magazines, a dedicated section only for trending AI tools, courses, and webinars. I will provide the link in the description for your convenience. So, this is Simplify AI, and I hope you like this video, and if you want more video on latest advancement on AI around the globe, you can subscribe our channel for future updates.